Okay, guys, we've got to talk about a serious subject here. Now, a lot of you have been riding with me all last season during the up and down, very emotional storyline of the Lisa Vanderpump Kyle Richards story, okay? When all of her friends turned on her in her time of need, when her brother had taken his own life. She was very down, and these women were thinking about their jobs and getting rid of her, and hopefully one day to become queen bee, in my opinion. But okay, so I'm gonna tell this story not one sided. So all of her friends kind of accused her of selling stories to the tabloids, and she was in a really bad place. And it really just looked bad. But anyway, she ended up quitting the show, and we are where we are now. Okay, so now Kyle Richards gave an interview to her old friend. Okay, now I'm not trying to be messy, people. I don't try to be messy. I just am naturally messy. Now listen, Justin used to work for Kyle. Justin, I think he was an assistant or something like that. Justin now works for, he has his own podcast, and I believe it's called, he works for E! News. But he also worked for, I think it was called Pop Daily, Daily Pop, whatever. In other words, he worked for the blogs. Hello, okay? You know, one of those people that she accused Lisa Vanderpump of having a special relationship with. Is that messy? I'm just pointing it out that, Kyle does the same thing that Lisa does, and all of them. But honestly, for me, I don't know if I'm being extra soft on Lisa Vanderpump. I don't think she sold that story or told the story or leaked the story, whatever, to the blog was Radar Online. But even if she did, then women cannot point the fingers. They all do it. No one believed me when I told them that they all do it until I believe it was B. Scott came out and outed Nene for doing the same thing. They all leak stories to the blogs. I'm saying this with confidence, okay? It's nothing I made up. I'm telling you, they do it, okay? So during this interview given to her by her friend, he asked her, would she ever consider reconciling with Lisa? And her response was, oh my God, that would be amazing. Lisa is a very prideful person. My intention was not to humiliate her. I think she felt humiliated, but my intention was to be honest and tell her what happened on camera so she wasn't shocked in 6 months when she saw the show. Okay, that was Kyle's response. Now, it was a shitty response, but it was a response. Then she goes on, she says, there were times that she's done things that I haven't liked, like what happened in Dubai when she was telling Lisa Rinna to throw me under the bus and all that stuff. I said to her, listen, I know you did that, and I love you. No one understood, but I was like, I'm willing to move on. It's very complicated to have a relationship on reality television. Now, the part that's really pissing me off in all of this is Kyle is acting like there are not different levels of making mistakes. You need an example? I'll give you an example. I burnt the cookies when I fell asleep. Okay, that's a mistake. I didn't mean to fall asleep. Another example, I accidentally had sex with the family pet. Okay, I mean, is that how it went, Dennis? From the Real Housewives of Atlanta? I mean, I don't know how it went, but maybe that's how it went. But anyway, that's what I call a psycho mistake. And in my opinion, Kyle made a psycho mistake. Now, when you make a psycho mistake, you got to get therapy. You got to get help. There's no figuring this out on your own. That's why Portia's having such a hard time. They need to stay in therapy. A therapist needs to be in place for the psycho mistakes. And Lisa and Kyle, they're not going to be able, in my opinion, to sit in a room and figure this out without some kind of therapist, someone to give a helping hand. And I'm not talking about those bums that Kyle hangs with, Lisa Rinna and all that. No, I'm talking about a professional to get Kyle to realize you crossed the line. What did you do that was so bad, you might ask? Well, your friend was in mourning, okay? She's crying. Her heart is bleeding. Most people go up to their friends and embrace them and nurture them when they are hurting that bad. But not Kyle. What does she do? Well, she decides to kick her when she's down. Who does that, Kyle? I mean, do you really expect Lisa to forgive you? I mean, you will be lucky if she gave you a 10-year time span and then forgave you after 10 years, in my opinion. But here's the problem in all of this. And believe me, people, when I tell you what's on my mind, this really hurts me to say, okay? But I gotta say it. I gotta say it. I mean, why do I have to say it? Here it goes. Okay, I'm getting tired of watching Vanderpump Rules. And what I mean by that, it's a great show. It's a good show. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. It's an amazing show. But it's a bunch of unruly kids that go around and sleep with each other, okay? And then Lisa comes in as the therapist. That's a whole different feel than watching Lisa with her friends, a bunch of rich women going around living their rich lives. I used to like that in the beginning when everything was friendlier and not so cutthroat. Probably was before Lisa Rinna got on the show and just ruined everything. I wanted to go back to the old days when, Lisa would drive a new car every month. That was like, who does that? That was good to see. I like seeing their work ethic. I like her and Kyle when they used to laugh and be friends, and when Camille thought a 3,000 square foot house was small. I like those days. But all of this Lisa Rinna stabbing you in the back when you're not looking and then kicking you and running you over with the car to make sure that you're dead, that's not so fun to look at. So I'm in a quandary, people. Okay, if Kyle and Lisa can get help with a therapist and Kyle can really understand that she was being cutthroat, worrying about herself, threw her friend under the bus, teamed up with some hood rats, because that's what Lisa Rinna is, people. If she will really be sorry for doing that, will the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills ever return to the golden era? That's what I'm going to call the early years. The golden era, when it was really nice to watch, when people cared about each other, and, they had arguments, but the arguments were resolved by the end of the episode. And if not the end of the episode, the following episode. And then when the reunions were, they got their feelings out, but they all walked away friends. Can we restore Beverly Hills back to that? That's a question that I want you guys to help me answer, because if we can't, they need to cancel Beverly Hills altogether. It's getting too cutthroat. You've got them running Lisa Vanderpump over, leaving her for dead, and now Denise is the new victim. Who likes watching Lockup disguised as the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? I mean, these women need to be in cages, all of them. It's ridiculous. Brandy she's ruthless, okay? Like, who sleeps with someone and then, turns around and tells everyone? Who does that? And speaking of Brandy, oh, I forgot, you guys. I do have some Denise Richards news. So Denise Richards took to Twitter and she was asking fans what would be a good new tagline. And then she also stated that yes, she will be returning to the show. This is good news. This means that she has gathered her bearings, she has gathered her thoughts, drummed up some courage, and is facing Brandy. She's not running from the cameras anymore. This is good news. She's not going to let anyone run her away. This is good news because she was really catching it. And if she didn't return to the show, I'm sure a lot of people would understand. So either something's good is happening in her marriage, that Aaron is probably no longer upset, or, they reconciled, or she told him whatever it is, she told him the truth. Something gave her strength to go on with the show and not let, as Gretchen would say, evil overrule good. I like Denise Richards, and I don't want her to let these mean women run her off. So that's good news that, hey, she's not quitting, people, so that's good news. Okay, so that's all the Housewives news I have for you today. What I want to know in my comment section is, Do you guys think that Kyle and Lisa Vanderpump should reconcile? And do you think the show could return back to the golden era? That's what I'm calling it. And are you guys happy that Denise Richards is not quitting the show? Okay, guys, if you like this video, please don't forget to click that like button. If you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and do that. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.